In this 27th episode of SpaceX in the News, we're going to take a look at Starship's recent updates down in Boca Chica, Texas, and while we're there, we might as well check out Starhopper as well. Then we'll move on to just a little bit more new information and the investigation of the Crew Dragon explosion. We'll take a look at the status of the recent CRS-17 mission booster and why that's important. Then we'll talk about the upcoming inaugural flight of Starlink, and we'll finish things off with today's honorable mention. It's a good one, you don't want to miss it. Let's get started.
I too am extraordinarily humble.
So rapid progress is being made with Starship down in Boca Chica, Texas. A lot of pieces are starting to get stacked, so to speak. So just the other day, my friend Boca Chica Maria, who lives down there in Brownsville, Texas, and adjacent to the SpaceX sites, captured the tapered section being hoisted upon one of the mid-sections of Starship. These pieces have been in development for months now, but just started getting stacked together a few weeks back. And needless to say, as Starship's growing, it's becoming more impressive. Yet there's still more room for Starship to grow. Maria told me that the nose cone will be the next piece to be connected. Then she believes the lower portion of Starship, where the engines will go, will be mounted on a nearby stand, and then this upper portion of Starship will finally be connected to the bottom part. And then sometime during all this, or maybe after, we'll start seeing the legs take shape. Elon was asked by the Everyday Astronaut if he plans on doing a presentation soon with the Starship updates, like he does every year for the BFR, and Elon responded, probably June 20th, which is the original planned period of time where this orbital Starship is supposed to start making flights. But will the orbital Starship still take flight in June? Probably not. A lot of work still needs to be done on it. And not just it, but also the site in general. But rest assured, SpaceX is still progressing through the development of the infrastructure of the launch site. And besides that, the orbital Starship won't take flight until Starhopper has had its time in the spotlight. After about a month, this prototype vehicle is still engineless, as its Raptor engines are being tested in McGregor, Texas. In the meantime, local SpaceX technicians have been busy upgrading its hardware with the recent installation of ACS thruster blocks. These will be a necessity for control when Starhopper untethers itself from the launch pad and takes to the skies, which could, by the way, be as soon as a couple weeks from now. Time will tell and we shall see. But let's move on to the recent Crew Dragon explosion. So I'm sure by now most of you are caught up on the recent catastrophic anomaly that the Crew Dragon capsule suffered while undergoing testing the other week. But while SpaceX and NASA continues to investigate this mishap, SpaceX Vice President of Mission Assurance, Hans-Jörg Koenigsmann, made an official statement about the explosion on NASA TV.
At the test stand, we powered up Dragon, and it powered up as expected. And then just before we wanted to fire the Super Draco, there was an anomaly and the vehicle was destroyed. The initial data indicates that the anomaly occurred during the activation of the Super Draco system. That said, we're looking at all possible issues and the investigation is ongoing.
When more specific details about this explosion develop, I'll be sure to share them with you right here. So with all that's been happening, it does seem like SpaceX has been the victim of Murphy's Law lately. With the Crew Dragon explosion and also the center core of the recent Falcon Heavy launch tipping over on the drone ship Of Course I Still Love You. But their last mission to the International Space Station, CRS-17, has been a success so far. The Dragon capsule has docked successfully with the International Space Station, and much to the relief of NASA, the booster successfully landed on the drone ship Of Course I Still Love You and made its way successfully back to port. They have a vested interest in this particular booster. They were going to require it with the intent to reuse for SpaceX's upcoming CRS-18 launch and potentially the CRS-19. This will be the first time that NASA reuses a SpaceX booster. And that's also why NASA didn't have a problem with CRS-17 getting delayed day after day there for a while. Hans Koenigsmann noted that SpaceX is moving to a concept of operations where booster recovery is just as important and just as necessary as any other technical aspect of a launch. And that's not even the only thing to mention with this particular booster. SpaceX reached a new milestone for reusability by retracting all 4 legs on a booster for the first time. Up until now, with the Block 5 version of the rocket, most of the legs were always taken off the booster, and before the Block 5 version, they were always taken off the booster. You couldn't even retract them. This allows for rapid reusability when it comes to launching the same booster over and over again. And now moving on to SpaceX's upcoming launch, dubbed Starlink 1, Gwynne Shotwell was recently quoted as saying that this mission will contain, quote, dozens of satellites. To quote Teslarati, if all spacecraft reach an orbit in good health, SpaceX will easily become the operator and owner of one of the top 5 largest commercial satellite constellations in the world with a single launch. As of this moment, this mission is slated for 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on May 15th. If you got no plans, nothing going on, you should join me for this launch live. I'm going to be covering it right here on my channel. It's always a great time. We have a lot of fun. That's how you plug it, baby. All right, let's wrap this up with today's honorable mention. So 2 days ago, Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, held a super secret exclusive press conference where he unveiled his other company's, Blue Origin's, intent to land on the moon with their new lunar lander. That was also super secretive, as well as their new BE-7 engine that's going to power it. Apparently, this big mama's been in development for the last 3 years, but they have now plastered all the information you need to know right on their website. They even showed a pretty cool and physics accurate animation of their lander landing on the moon. But while Elon Musk has his sights set on Mars, Jeff Bezos let us all in on his vision of the future. And I've got one word for you: Elysium. Now, whether you believe this is ever going to be made a reality or not, you gotta admit, these pictures are pretty sweet. I mean, look at that. That's a big deer in space. But we all know Elon Musk, and I knew he just wouldn't keep quiet about this. So I tried to prod him. a little bit, asking him if he had any thoughts about Bezos' plans. And boy, did Elon not disappoint. But he tweeted, "Oh, stop teasing, Jeff, winky face." But if you scroll down to the screenshot he posted, you'll see this picture. Blue balls. Get it? He changed it from blue moon to blue balls. That's great. I don't know if that qualifies as throwing shade or if that's just straight up dissing. But I confirmed with my high schoolers that they don't even know what that means anymore. So I'm gonna call it throwing shade, like a lampshade. Well, that wraps up this sode. If you guys found this entertaining, informative, or both, do me a huge solid and hit that like button. You can also share me and my videos with your family, your friends, but not your ex-girlfriend. That'd just be weird. Thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you, and Godspeed. Do you have too much money, not know what to do with it? Can I just say, you should give it to me. And in return, I will gift you exclusive access to more cloud-licking content. How does that exactly work, you might not be asking? Well, it's easy. You just check out the description below, down there below the video, and you'll see a link to my Patreon account. Click it and it will take you right to my Patreon page where you can see all the different memberships that you can join under. Read the rewards for each and choose the one that's best for your liking. Liking. It's a great way for us to grow this channel by allowing us to create better content more often. So give it a try and be part of the adventure, and I'll see you over there.